Chosen one, there is something stirring in the silence around you, and it's not noise, it's not chaos. It's the moment before it all begins, and you're standing right in the middle of it, thinking perhaps it's just another ordinary day. But it's not. It never was. You don't know what's about to unfold, and that's the beauty of it. You think you're still waiting, but in truth, the shift has already started moving toward you. Not like a gust of wind, but like gravity deciding it's time to pull everything down exactly where it belongs. This message is not a coincidence. This timing, this breath, this very moment where you pause to listen, it's divine choreography. Everything that once felt random in your life, it was a thread, invisible, woven into silence, tied to this one moment. Because for so long, you've been walking through fog with ancient wings tucked beneath your ribs. You've been dreaming without realizing that those dreams weren't fantasy. They were memory. And now, you're being asked to remember. You've felt it, haven't you? The restlessness. The heavy quiet that hums beneath your skin. You thought it was anxiety. You thought it was fatigue. But no, it's something deeper. Something sacred. It's your soul adjusting its frequency. It's your timeline bending to meet the version of you that you were always meant to become. Let's speak plainly now. You've suffered in places where no one saw you bleeding. You've cried without sound, broken without breaking visibly, and the world kept moving as if your storms were invisible. But chosen one, heaven never looked away. The silence you carried was holy. The nights you couldn't sleep weren't empty. They were coded with instructions your conscious mind could not yet translate, because you weren't abandoned. You were activated. You see, destiny never rushes. It waits until your roots are strong enough to carry what's next. And you, yes, you're stronger now than you realize. The delays you hated, they weren't delays, they were alignments. And the detours, they weren't obstacles. They were sacred reroutings designed to shake loose every version of you that could not hold the weight of this next chapter. You didn't fail, you transformed, and now your spirit stands at a threshold that your mind doesn't yet recognize. There's a soft whisper in the air, a vibration behind the stillness. That's not your imagination. That's reality beginning to rearrange itself in your favor. But this favor doesn't come from outside of you. It was always inside, waiting for you to outgrow the old illusions, waiting for you to stop shrinking your light, to make others comfortable. You weren't meant to fit, you were meant to ignite. So, if you've ever wondered why your presence unsettles some, why you've always felt like you were too much, too different, too intense, let me be clear. That's because your frequency speaks a language that smallness cannot comprehend. And now that frequency is rising, your energy is sharpening. Your calling is no longer whispering, it is roaring. And what's coming next? It won't require your permission, only your alignment. This won't be the kind of breakthrough that asks politely. This will be a rupture. A divine interruption, the kind that turns chapters into legends, because you are not just walking into a blessing, you are becoming the blessing. There are doors that are about to recognize your knock. There are names, your name, being spoken in rooms you've never entered. There are assignments written in light, waiting to attach themselves to your footsteps. But first, you must shed. Shed the version of yourself that thought survival was enough. Shed the story that said you had to earn your place. Shed the weight of pretending to be okay when your soul was pleading for change. Did something in your chest exhale when you realized this wasn't just another message? That's how the sacred speaks. Not in noise, but in perfect timing. If even one line found the part of you thought no one could reach, write in the comments, "I'm not waiting, I'm aligning." Let your voice echo back to the heavens, and subscribe right now, because this journey doesn't end here. The unfolding has only just begun. Each message is a mirror, and the next one may be the one that names what you've never dared to say aloud. Don't miss it. Your spirit is listening. Let it stay connected. You no longer need to be strong in silence. You need to be sacred in truth, because this isn't about endurance anymore. It's about emergence. You've earned your silence. Now you will earn your sound. This shift you feel, it's not emotional. It's not mental, it's energetic, it's prophetic. It's the invisible catching up with the visible. You may not have known the whole plan, but that was never required. Only your willingness to keep walking, to keep listening, to keep showing up, even when nothing made sense, except the pulse in your chest that told you not to quit. That was alignment, that was bravery, that was destiny disguised as routine. And now that disguise is falling apart. The familiar is crumbling, not because you're broken, but because you're too whole to stay hidden. You've outgrown the frequency of almost. You've evolved past the echo of maybe. Now is the season of arrival. So listen, you won't have to force what's next. You won't have to chase. You've already become a magnet, and what's meant for you has already started moving toward you in ways you can't yet name. But soon, very soon, you'll recognize the shape of what your spirit has always known was coming, and when it comes, it won't ask for explanation, it will ask for embodiment. So breathe, chosen one. This isn't just another message, this is the moment the page begins to turn. Not slowly, not softly, but with fire. You are not waiting anymore, you are becoming, and everything is about to make sense. Chosen one, you've made it through what others never saw, and still you rise. But the truth is, they were never meant to see, because the world wasn't designed to recognize a soul that was built in silence. There's something you need to understand now. What tried to crush you didn't know you were seed. It didn't know that pain, for you, wasn't an ending. It was preparation. Because not everyone survives the kind of breaking that softens your voice but sharpens your vision. Not everyone walks through the storm and comes out holding light instead of bitterness. But you did. You do. And this is why your life is shifting now. Not because of chance, not because of luck, but because the version of you that chose grace over revenge has now reached the threshold where the universe begins to respond in full. The shaking you feel, that's the ground beneath your old story giving way. The pull in your chest, that's destiny waking up, louder than ever before. And let me tell you this plainly, you didn't come this far to remain hidden in someone else's shadow. You didn't endure the wilderness just to return to smallness. No, you were forged to change frequencies, to recalibrate rooms with your presence, to become the shift others have been secretly praying for. And though the breaking was real, the becoming is greater. That ache you feel right now, that tiredness in your bones, it's not weakness, it's divine tension. Because what you are carrying is beginning to outgrow the vessel it once fit inside. Your former self is collapsing, not in failure but in fulfillment. You're not shedding who you were because she was wrong. You're shedding her because she did her job. She protected the light until it was strong enough to stop hiding. So don't grieve what is falling away. Honor it, but do not try to revive it. The relationships that suddenly feel distant, they're not broken, they're completed. The roles that once defined, you no longer fit because you're stepping into one that can't be named by titles or jobs or surface identities. You are becoming uncontainable, and with that comes spiritual gravity. People will feel you differently, not because you're trying, but because you've remembered. You've remembered that your voice was never meant to beg, it was meant to echo. You've remembered that your tears were never wasted, they were baptism. You've remembered that your silence wasn't emptiness. It was sacred gestation. And now, chosen one, you are standing in the first minutes of your soul's announcement. There's no going back. Not because the past is gone, but because you no longer belong to it. The frequency of your calling has finally overtaken the echo of your conditioning. You've spent enough time trying to convince others of your worth. You've spent enough nights asking why they didn't choose you. Here's the truth. They couldn't recognize you because they weren't calibrated for who you were becoming. You were never rejected. You were rerouted. And now those reroutes have positioned you at the exact intersection where what was promised finally meets what was prepared. But this next part, it won't be loud, it won't be announced by trumpets. It will come quietly, like sudden peace in a place that once held panic, like clarity in a space that once bred confusion. It will arrive as if it had always been there, because it had. You just weren't ready to hold it, but now you are. So don't flinch when the doors start opening. Don't shrink when your name is called. Don't explain your light to people who were never meant to walk beside it. You don't need permission to expand. You need permission to remember, and that permission was always yours to give, so give it. This is your time to walk, as if the ground beneath your feet was designed to carry only you, because it was. This is your time to speak words that disrupt silence, to move with the grace of someone who no longer doubts the presence walking beside them, because you are not alone. You never were. You were simply being hidden until the world was ready to receive the frequency you carry. And now the world is trembling with anticipation. The spiritual air around you is charged. You've noticed it, haven't you? Strangers looking twice, numbers repeating, moments of déjà vu that feel more like prophecy. You are not imagining it. That's your timeline aligning. That's the energy around you, realizing that the shift has begun. It won't make sense to your mind, but your soul already recognizes the shape of what's coming. So breathe. You don't need to rush. You don't need to perform. You only need to align. This next season isn't about chasing anything. It's about receiving everything. You already became worthy of by surviving the places that tried to erase you. And if you're wondering, will it really happen for me? Listen carefully, it already is. Chosen one, you've come too far to doubt it now. This trembling you feel inside, it's not fear, it's the weight of everything that's waking up in you. And make no mistake, something is waking. You can sense it, can't you? That subtle shift in your breath when you enter a room. The way people glance your way but can't explain why. The way the wind seems to change direction when your spirit gets still. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. Signs that your presence is no longer blending. It's bending reality. Because the truth is, you were never made to stay in the background. You were made to carry light that disturbs the dark. Not by noise, but by frequency. For too long, you've tried to manage the intensity of your gift, tried to dim your radiance so others could feel comfortable around you. But now the fire inside you is done negotiating. It was never meant to burn quietly. You weren't built to be contained. You weren't meant to stay within walls that were shaped by fear and expectation. You were born to move things, to alter atmospheres, to speak in a tone that doesn't just inspire, it awakens. And yes, it's true. Not everyone will understand you. Some will misread your silence. Some will call your peace pride. Some will question your clarity because they haven't yet found their own. But that's not your burden to carry, because what's rising in you now isn't explainable. It isn't rational. It's sacred, and sacred things don't need defense. They carry authority by simply existing. So hear me clearly. You're no longer being prepared. You're being revealed. This is the unveiling. You're not the student anymore. You're the vessel. You're the proof, the walking evidence of what happens when someone surrenders to the pull of their own soul. Do you know how rare that is? Most people run from it. Most people silence that voice. But you chose to stay. You chose to face the wilderness instead of returning to what numbed you. And that choice, that small, trembling, private choice to stay open when it would have been easier to shut down, that changed everything. That choice echoed in the unseen. It rewrote timelines. It called heaven's attention. Because when you said yes to your calling, even without a map, the entire universe shifted its gaze toward you. You didn't see it, but angels took their positions. Doors began preparing to open, and now those doors are creaking under the weight of your readiness. But with every door that opens, there's a shedding. Let go of the need to be liked. Let go of the need to explain your journey. Let go of the need to translate your depth into language that shallow minds can digest. You weren't born to convince. You were born to carry vision, to carry presence, to carry codes of remembrance that awaken others without saying a single word. That's the kind of power that's humming in your chest right now. You feel it at night, don't you? In the stillness, when the world grows quiet and your breath becomes louder than your thoughts, you feel something moving under your ribs. That's not anxiety. That's alignment. That's your higher self, preparing to merge with the moment it's been waiting for. And no, it won't feel comfortable. You will feel the tension of the old as it releases its grip on you. You'll feel the ghosts of your former identity begging for one more day. You'll feel the echo of patterns that no longer serve you, but do not confuse familiarity with belonging. Just because something feels known doesn't mean it's meant to stay. This is the point of departure. You are not just moving forward, you are leaving behind. The masks, the minimization, the inner negotiations with fear, they've all expired because the light you carry now can no longer live in a shell made of apology. The world needs you unfiltered, and more than that, your soul demands it. No more waiting for a perfect moment. No more analyzing your intuition to death. No more asking others to validate what was given to you. This next phase won't be built by consensus. It will be built by conviction. And yours is finally strong enough to hold the weight of your becoming. Let that settle in. You're not broken. You're not late. You're not lacking. You're just becoming undeniable. And the process of becoming requires silence, requires solitude, requires surrender. That's why things have felt heavy lately, not because you're losing the path, but because you're carrying the future. And the future has mass. But hear this, what you're carrying is not too much for you. It was tailored to you, woven into your DNA, designed to only respond to the rhythm of your breath. No one else could have walked your path. No one else was assigned your flame. So stop comparing, stop minimizing, stop assuming you missed it, because everything you thought was lost is about to show up in a form you never imagined, but always needed. It may not look like what you prayed for, but it will feel like home, because what's coming next wasn't built to impress your mind. It was shaped to remember your soul, and when it arrives, you'll know. You won't need to question, you'll feel it, like gravity shifting, like time folding, like your entire life taking a breath with you at the same time. So don't resist the pull. Don't retreat from the fire. You were born from it, and now you're rising with it. Chosen one, you've mistaken the silence for distance, but the truth is, it wasn't absence, it was design. The stillness that wrapped around your life, the quiet that followed your prayers, the days when nothing seemed to move. They weren't failures, they were sacred incubation, and you were not being ignored. You were being insulated, hidden by the divine until you were ready to hold what would have crushed you before. That loneliness you thought was punishment, it was actually positioning. Because some paths are so sacred, they cannot be walked with noise beside them. So yes, you were pulled away from places, from people, from patterns, but not to abandon you, to refine you. You needed to hear your own breath again. You needed to learn how your spirit speaks before the world tried to speak over it. And now that you've learned to listen inward, everything is changing outward. You've stopped craving answers. You've started carrying presence. You've stopped begging for signs. You've started becoming one. And now the space around you is responding. The old static is fading. The old doors no longer call to you because you've outgrown the architecture of limitation. Your frequency is no longer a whisper. It's a resonance, one that reorders every room you walk into without permission, without apology. But here's the part few will understand. Before the shift, there is always friction. Before the clarity, there is always a tearing. Because when you leave behind everything you once leaned on, even illusions feel like home. You've been shedding skins. Versions of yourself you once wore proudly are now slipping away like old layers of dust. And though part of you grieves them, a deeper part of you breathes for the first time. Do not fear this ache. It is not loss, it is liberation. You are not meant to carry what your soul has already released. Let it go, let it fall, let it dissolve into memory without mourning, because what's ahead is not just better, it's truer. And truth has a vibration that no lie can linger near. That's why people have started pulling away. That's why opportunities have vanished without explanation. That's why the path feels narrower now. It's because your alignment has refined your access. You no longer fit where your spirit cannot breathe. And that is not a curse. It's confirmation. But with this level of clarity comes a new kind of responsibility. You can no longer speak carelessly. You can no longer compromise quietly. You can no longer say yes to what your soul screams no to. You carry energy now, and energy does not lie. So choose your words with reverence. Choose your steps with intention. Because your very presence is now an instrument of change. You are not just passing through this world, you are recalibrating it, and the people you meet, they feel it, even if they don't understand it. Even if they pretend not to see it, they know something's different. Because you walk like someone who's been spoken, Toby, something greater, and you have. You may not have heard it with your ears, but your soul remembers. In the silence, when no one was clapping for you, when no one called your name, something eternal was writing it into light. You didn't come this far because the world affirmed you. You came this far because the universe wouldn't let you stop. It whispered through your confusion. It nudged you through your tears. It held you in the unseen until you were strong enough to carry the seen. And now that strength is radiating, not because you demanded it, but because you became it. You've become the very thing you once cried out for. The guidance, the protection, the light in the dark. You are all of it now. And this is why the atmosphere around you feels like it's cracking open. Because what you carry inside can no longer be contained. But understand this, you're not just rising for yourself, you're rising for others too. For the ones watching you quietly, for the ones who haven't found their voice yet, for the ones still sitting in the silence. You learned to survive. You are their proof, and that's not pressure. That's purpose. So don't shrink, don't apologize, don't return to places that asked you to forget your own name. You've come too far to disappear now, and the miracles you thought were delayed, they were simply being measured to the strength of your foundation. Now that you're anchored, they're on their way, not in pieces, not in fragments, but in fullness. You'll begin to notice it soon. Doors that were sealed will start to creak. People who once overlooked you will begin to remember your name without knowing why. This is not coincidence. This is alignment made visible, and no, you don't need to chase it. You don't need to prove yourself worthy. You already did. Every time you chose to trust instead of collapse, you built this moment. Every time you chose faith in the face of silence, you laid a foundation for what is now forming. So let it come, let it unfold, let the timing be divine, because chosen one, you're not at the beginning, you're at the reveal, and everything you were prepared for is preparing to meet you. Chosen one, what you called delay was actually a purification, not of your body, not of your name, but of your field. There are frequencies that could not remain once you began to align. There were attachments, entanglements, energetic weights that had no place in the version of you that is now emerging. And so, the silence came. Not to punish, but to clear. You were not being held back. You were being held apart, set aside, set within, set in motion without noise, because stillness is not stagnation. It is acceleration without chaos. It is divine movement wrapped in invisibility. That's why you felt like nothing was happening, even though everything was. Your name was whispered through dimensions that have no clocks. Your coordinates were being rearranged so that what's meant for you could find you without interference. But the world calls this waiting. You've called it frustration. Now you will call it preparation. You were not unworthy, you were not forgotten, you were in refinement, because the things that come next require a foundation that doesn't crack when the blessings arrive. And now you carry that foundation within your breath. This is why you can no longer entertain distortion, why your body feels it faster, why your spirit tenses when you speak words that are no longer yours. Your system is wiser now, your field more precise. And anything not born of truth is expelled without warning. That's not dysfunction, it's evolution. You're not too sensitive, you're finally synchronized. So honor that sensitivity, protect it like a flame. Don't call it weakness when it's the very radar that led you here. The world may not understand your silence, your solitude, your boundaries. Let it be misunderstood. Because the path you walk wasn't meant for mass approval. It was meant for alignment, and alignment often requires invisibility before clarity. Let yourself remain unseen if being visible costs you your integrity. Let yourself go quiet if speaking means betraying your knowing. This is the sacred hour before the sound, the breath before the voice, the gaze before the arrival. So breathe deeply, stay rooted, because when it all begins to move again, and it will, you will recognize it not as a miracle, but as the moment you were always being prepared for. Chosen one, there's something you've believed for too long, something whispered into the silence of your waiting, that you were late, that somehow others had arrived before you, figured it out faster, claimed what you were still longing for. But today, let that lie fall away. You were never behind. You were being hidden, not forgotten, not passed over, but wrapped in divine timing so precise that no force could reveal you until your spirit was fully forged. Because the truth is, you weren't meant to be seen too soon. You weren't meant to be exposed while still in formation. You were being protected so that when the unveiling came, nothing could shake what you had become. And now, that unveiling has begun. You can feel it, can't you? Not in loud moments, but in quiet shifts. You're not thinking the same. You're not reaching for the things that used to satisfy. You're not bending to the weight of the opinions that once shaped your path. You're walking lighter, not because your burdens are gone, but because you've learned they don't define you anymore. This is what alignment feels like. And as you rise into it, you'll begin to notice the world shifting around you. Not because the world changed, but because your frequency did. You're no longer chasing, you're attracting. You're no longer striving, you're surrendering. And in that surrender, everything begins to flow. People will appear, drawn not to your appearance, but to your energy. Opportunities will open, not because you forced them, but because you became the key they were designed for. The you that doubted, that minimized, that questioned if it would ever be your time, that version served its purpose. But now you are being called into full embodiment, and embodiment requires space. So don't be surprised if things begin to fall away. Don't be alarmed if familiar places no longer feel like home. Don't mourn what you've outgrown. This is not loss, it is lightness. Because what's ahead can only be carried by a soul that has made peace with releasing the old. And let's be honest, you've felt it coming. The tension, the urgency, the quiet knowing that something had to shift. You tried to hold on, you tried to make it work. But grace has a way of closing doors you no longer have the strength to shut. And now, those closures are becoming your clarity. Because every ending is an echo of what you've outlived. And what you've outlived cannot follow you where you're going. This new path requires elevation. It requires obedience to your inner knowing. It requires that you stop negotiating with fear, disguised as logic. You've done that long enough. You've made yourself small long enough. You've explained your worth long enough. Now, you simply walk in it, not loudly, not forcefully, but with the quiet certainty of someone who knows they were built for this. And as you do, you'll notice something strange. The things you once dreamed of will begin to pursue you. The prayers you thought were unanswered will start to bloom in ways you didn't expect. But make no mistake, this isn't the universe rewarding you for waiting. This is the universe responding to who you've become while you waited. Your stillness was never passive. It was potent. Your silence was never empty. It was charged with destiny, and now that charge is activating. You'll find yourself saying no more easily, not from bitterness, but from clarity. You'll sense when something is off without needing proof. You'll walk into rooms and feel the atmosphere shift around you because your presence is no longer echoing insecurity. It's radiating authority. And that kind of presence cannot be ignored, not by people, not by timelines, not by reality itself, because you are not asking anymore. You are becoming. You are not waiting for alignment. You are the alignment. You are not seeking signs. You are the sign. And when you walk like you remember this, life has no choice but to remember you too. So if things begin to accelerate, don't flinch. If invitations arrive that seem too good, don't doubt. If spaces begin to open without your effort, don't pull back. This is what it looks like when a soul steps fully into its assignment. The resistance you once felt will weaken, not because it disappeared, but because you've grown stronger than the stories that used to stop you. And those stories, let them fall away. Let them unravel at your feet, like the skin of a past you no longer wear, because you're not dressing in survival anymore. You're robed in purpose, and the world can feel the difference. This is why things feel strange lately, why time feels different, why you've been both exhausted and energized. Your spirit is expanding, and the expansion requires everything around you to either rise with you or release you. Some will rise, some will release. Let both be sacred, because you're not here to be liked. You're here to ignite. You're not here to be accepted. You're here to activate. You're not here to prove. You're here to embody. And what you embody now is no longer potential. It's reality. It's arrival. It's unfolding. And chosen one. It's right on time. Chosen one. This moment, the one you are living in right now, it is not the result of coincidence, nor the outcome of luck. It is a return to the version of you that was never broken, never forgotten, never truly gone. You didn't create this moment, you remembered it. Your soul recognized the signal before your eyes could see it, and now that you've aligned with it, you're not watching life unfold, you're unfolding it. You've stepped across a threshold that no one else could mark for you. There was no announcement, no applause, no clear sign that said, "This is it." But deep in your chest, in that sacred, wordless place, you knew. You felt the shift. The pressure you once cursed now reveals itself as the polishing you never knew you needed. The waiting that broke your heart was the very soil where your root system deepened until you could hold the weight of your own emergence. The loss, the heartbreak, the questions that went unanswered, none of it was wasted. Every unseen moment was building the vessel that now overflows with clarity. You no longer walk like someone hoping to be chosen. You walk like someone who finally chose themselves. And with that choice, you've activated something that cannot be stopped. Let that sink in. You're not chasing the timeline anymore. You are carrying it. You're not seeking purpose. You are walking in it. You're not reaching outward. You've realized the outward was always waiting for your inward shift. This is the alignment the universe has been waiting on. Not events, not conditions, but you. The you who no longer bends to survive. The you who stands to transform. Because this time, you're not just stepping into a chapter. You're becoming the entire book. Your story isn't a side note, it's the signal, and those around you, those quietly watching, those silently hoping, they will feel it. They will hear it in your breath, in your presence, in your refusal to return to smallness. You've earned this expansion, not by force, but by faith, by rising when it felt like gravity was designed to keep you down, by choosing light even when no one was looking. That is not coincidence. That is spiritual authority. and authority has a weight. So if you feel it, the thickness in the air, the pressure behind your eyes, the heaviness of your yes, know this. That's what it feels like when the divine confirms your direction. Not through fireworks, but through stillness. Not through validation, but through knowing. This knowing doesn't ask questions. It doesn't apologize. It doesn't seek proof. It simply moves. And as you move with it, doors open. Not because they're programmed to, but because you are the key. All along, you were what was missing. Not because you lacked, but because you were being shaped. And now there is nothing left to wait for, not because the work is done, but because you've become the one who can do it. So if you feel the pace picking up, if you sense things arriving faster, opportunities aligning easier, truths being revealed louder, don't panic. It's not acceleration without reason, it's activation with purpose. You've entered the realm where resistance has no access, where delay is no longer your language, where hesitation cannot survive in your energy field. Because now, you're not just a participant in your destiny, you're a partner in it. You speak and heaven answers, you move and earth rearranges, you choose and timelines respond. And when others ask, how did it all change so fast? You'll smile, not with arrogance, but with awareness, because it wasn't sudden, it was sacred, and it was always coming. The shadows that chased you, they were your training, the silence that unnerved you, it was your sanctuary. You didn't just survive the wilderness, you learned its language. You didn't just climb the mountain, you became the summit. And now you shine not as a beacon of arrival, but as a lighthouse for those still sailing through their own fog. That's the final gift of becoming. It never ends with you, it extends through you. So protect this version of yourself, not with fear, but with honor. Speak only from your center, move only when peace leads, say yes only where your soul expands, and when the world tries to rush you again, pause. You don't follow the pace of pressure anymore. You walk in rhythm with eternity. That's what chosen ones do. They feel the frequency before others can hear the sound. They move on intuition before logic catches up. They lead not by control, but by calibration. And that's you now, not tomorrow. Not one day, now. So walk like it, live like it, love like it, create like it. Let your very breath be a reminder to the universe that you remember who you are. Because this is what the silence was building. This is what the storms were forming. This is what the delay was anchoring. You awake, aligned, unapologetically present. Not just in your purpose, but as your purpose. And when others see you now, not all will understand, not all will celebrate, but that doesn't matter, because you were never here to be understood. You were here to transform. And now that the time has come, you are no longer becoming. You are what was always meant to arrive. Chosen one. You may think it's over now, that you've stepped into the fullness and the shift is complete. But hear this. The shift didn't come to conclude you, it came to continue you, because becoming isn't an event, it's a living echo, and that echo is still unfolding. Every step you now take releases waves into timelines you can't yet see. Every breath carries frequency, every intention moves mountains in unseen places. This is the part no one tells you, that when you finally rise, your rise doesn't stop with you. It becomes a current, reaching those still trying to stand. So be mindful, you are now the signpost. You are now the answer to prayers whispered in isolation by souls who haven't yet remembered their own light. Don't underestimate your walk. Even when it feels quiet, even when it seems no one notices, the universe notices. Heaven takes note, and the path clears ahead of you, not because of pressure, but because of permission. You gave permission to your soul to be seen, to be known, to no longer hide behind humility that was really just fear in disguise. And now, Your light is not seeking space, it creates space. But stay grounded, for with great presence comes sacred responsibility. Not everyone will clap, not everyone will understand. But this was never about applause. It was always about alignment. The alignment between your spirit and the divine signature you were stamped with long before this lifetime began. And now that alignment is active, it's alive, it's magnetic. Things will come to you, yes, but also you will be sent. You will walk into places as an answer they didn't know they needed. You will speak words you didn't rehearse because they weren't from your mind. They were encoded in your breath. This is why you had to wait, why the path was lonely, why the answers were delayed. Because your presence now is not just personal, it is prophetic. You carry a sound that realigns things back to heaven's rhythm. So don't retreat, don't hold back, don't second guess what you've become. You are not imagining your power, you are remembering it. And the more you remember, the more you restore. Not just yourself, but generations before you and those yet to come. That is what chosen means, not favored, entrusted. So carry this moment gently, protect it fiercely, let it breathe through you, and trust that from this point forward, you no longer have to try. You only have to be.